Okay, everybody. So I thought it would be worth doing a video where we show kind of the do's and don'ts with taping, because this floral tape is something that it becomes like part of your body when you're a florist, and you forget how hard it can be to learn how to use it because it's not sticky, but it sticks to itself. Also, if you are not holding it in the correct direction, then it will get so it's lumpy and bumpy and it won't hold anything, and it just ends up becoming like the bane of your existence. So one of the very first things that I always have people do when I know that I'm going to be teaching them fully from scratch is I have them take wire and the tape home with them, because it's going to take several tries for you to get it right. So just my advice would be to kind of do the same. So I'm going to show you just some of the things that you don't want to do with the tape first, and then why. Okay? So things you don't want to do. You don't want to put it on loosely. You see how that is? That's loose enough. You can just slide it right off. This won't hold anything. If you were to put it on a boutonniere, it would just slide right off. Okay. Something else you don't want to do. You don't want to be at a completely perpendicular angle. All that does is it makes it so, let's see if I can it gets lumpy and bumpy. See how that is? Sometimes when you're making floral crowns or things that are really long, it's easy to get places like this. And then once you get started with the wire turning, what ends up happening is that it opens up in the middle of that, and then the wire is showing. So you want to make sure when you're putting it on, what you want it to look like. You want to come down at an angle, so just a nice, let me show you. You can see how when I don't have the right pressure but I have the right angle, it still is making these little ridges. What you want is for it to be straight and almost like a little bit lighter in color than if it was not pulled too tight. Okay? So I'll do one more. I'll see if I can go as slowly as I can so you can see. Okay, so like let's say we're making a head wreath. You want to take this tape, you want to fold it over once on the top. So make a little diaper. Mush it down. Remember, the tape sticks to itself. So mushing it down on itself will help. Okay, next. You're going to take your fingers, you're going to take your index and your thumb, you're going to hold on to the end. Now you're going to take your other hand. I usually hold the tape with my middle finger and my thumb, and then I use my index finger on my right hand to support the wire as I'm rolling it with my left hand. Okay? If I didn't have this there, then it is a lot easier for you to kind of go back on top of yourself or make those ridges. When you have your finger underneath it to help guide it, it makes it a lot easier to keep that diagonal going. Okay, see how nice and smooth that is? So again, if we were to accidentally get to where we were being pretty much perpendicular, it gets really lumpy bumpy. Or if it's at too much of a diagonal, it gets those ridges. And again, while those ridges, they may not look like they're going to be problematic, if you're making a flower crown or something where you're agitating the wire, that ends up happening. And once you're taping the flowers onto the wire, if the tape comes off of the wire like that, then that means the flowers that are on top of that tape are also coming off. Okay. All right. So, again, put it over the top. Take these two, and you're going to turn with that, support with this finger, and you should, with a little bit of practice, be able to wire all the corsages, boutonnieres, flower girl head wreaths to your heart's content.